back at the Park Car Conversation. I'm your host, Jay Lucci. We have Gabriel Gonzalez, LA shoe designer. Really excited to have him here. And we're kick up in front of good weather, downtown Toronto. So let's check it out. Come let's see.
Thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely. Good to see you. Thanks for having us here. All right, y'all. So Park Car Conversation, you guys already know we have the deep talks that you would have in a park car. And what's really cool is that, you know, sometimes the nature of it is really like deep and sometimes really dark. But today we're going to get into depth with sneakers. Like that's the coolest part about it because there's so much. Like you built an entire brand. Again, this is Gabriel Gonzalez from LA. He's an LA shoe designer. He's worked with big names. I've seen Missy Elliott, Justin Bieber. Like you have some also it's a lot of athletes too.
Yeah.
Damian
I mean,
Lillard.
we just did a whole project with the Clippers. Paul George.
Come on.
We're working on John Wall's pair as we speak. Like, been blessed. It's been a fun journey, fun ride for sure.
So like, let's just get right into it. Tell people, how did you get here? Like you see sneakers every day. We all wear sneakers, but like, how did you specifically become this person who's now working with all these big names?
I mean, if we go back to the root of it, it's like the root's basketball, right? It's like that's my connection to the culture. It's like I grew up an athlete, and that's why I love sneakers to begin with.
Like the comfort?
Not even that. It's like it was more so basketball shoes, right? If I looked good, I felt good, I played good, right?
That's true. Talk your talk.
That was the whole thing. So, but once I was growing up, and I was always an artist, I always loved drawing. Didn't really know how to funnel that. But once I got into college and kind of got to explore a little bit, kind of discovered sneaker designers, like someone got paid to do that, and I was like, oh, it clicked. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so kind of channeled that and kind of went down that path where I kind of had to figure it out on my own because there wasn't anywhere that you can go and study footwear design. Yeah, it was such a new thing where it was a lot of product designers that ended up in the space or apparel design, but nothing specifically for it, right?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it was a lot of seeking out my own opportunities, learning on my own, and I mean, now I'm here kind of after some time and some experiences and really learning the industry on my own and make it happen.
How many years have you been doing this?
I started 7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
Yeah, it's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
It didn't happen overnight, or would you say it happened overnight?
No, it definitely didn't happen overnight, but it's one of those things where like, I kind of feel like this is the same way for a lot of different industries or, you know, if you're passionate about something, sometimes the opportunities kind of land in your lap, right? And so that's kind of how I felt when I first started. And it was like the steps are revealing itself as we're going. And I never had like a direct plan to get where I'm at. But once I started doing my own thing through Chapter 3, which is the name of my studio.
It's like a storefront?
No, it's a studio. It's a design agency. It's me and one business partner. I have, you know, I'm blessed to be in LA where there's a lot of resources to get some help in doing what I do. But we're kind of building the plane as we fly it, type of thing. Yeah. So,
well, I mean, that's really like neat for anyone else who's watching this, who wants to get into shoe designing. There probably isn't any like one structured way. You kind of just like figure out your own way. No traditional way. Essentially, you don't go to school. If you have a talent for art and you have the mind to do it, you can get it done. It's
about portfolio, and now it's becoming, you know, it's been some time, and enough people are realizing that you can do this, so that there's a demand to actually have like accredited programs. And so, shout out Pencil Academy. I discovered they had like a 9-week course at the time. I actually got recruited by them. They did a project with Adidas, which is actually a TV show. My very first design experience, designed for TV. Damian Lillard, James Harden, like all these people. That was my very first design experience. Came in super fresh. But so that school, that academy, is now partnered with a school in Detroit, and they're actually offering like, you know, a full accredited program. And so the industry is definitely growing from an educational perspective, but it's still like you gotta, you know, kind of figure it out on your own.
Well, that's a good resource for people to know. Like if that's a thing what you do. I mean, we're here in Canada, you're in LA.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some more of those bridging programs for a lot of like, you know, the Canadian designers who want to get into stuff like that. That's always tough. We always find that in Canada, we're a little bit behind in like funding for these resources.
Right.
But we're gonna get there.
Yeah,
I have full faith in Canadian infrastructure that we'll get there.
Right.
And so, like, walk us through, like, okay, when you say you're a shoe designer, what does that mean? Like, this pair of shoe, what would you do with this pair of shoe? Like, for a lot of these, like, big celebs and, you know, big names, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so, like, for something like this, like, so my style of customization, right? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can approach it. There's painters, there's people who patch on like swooshes and stuff.
Yeah.
The only part of this shoe that I'm reusing is the sole. I take this upper off and build the patterns out of it, and I completely redesign and rebuild the shoe with new materials. And
so you cut it? Like you take the shoe off? The shoe breaks down like
this
that?
thread, I take it off. It's the way that the shoe's kind of made, right? It's like, so you have the outsole. Then you have the whole sewn upper that you then cement and then sew together. So I'm really just kind of deconstructing it from the backwards process.
And are all shoes made the same way, essentially?
More or less. Different styles of shoes are made different ways. Like you got moccasins that are constructed differently than a sneaker would be.
But like more like ball sneakers, lifestyle running sneakers.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. And did you figure that out by like Googling and YouTubing, like breakup of a sneaker, or you start taking it apart?
Yeah, you kind of just start taking it apart. Pencil, I first, when I was over there with Pencil, is the first time I got to see like some of the process of how, and we weren't doing this specifically, we were making original shoes, right?
From scratch.
Yeah, so I would design the shoe, work with a pattern maker to get the design of it all right, and then see how it's built. But then from there, it's like when you come to understand the construction of the shoe, you can kind of mess with it yourself and figure it out. So yeah, a lot of trial and error.
That's just about the coolest thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's the coolest thing I've heard all week. Like you just take apart sneakers.
Yeah, that's the fun part too. It's like people see like you get a, I don't know, like a Jordan 1 super like hype shoe, and then you're like destroying it, taking it apart. Like it's a fun process, but difficult.
You don't specifically like to do like the painting part? You're more like
I'm just not
rebuilding.
Yeah, I'm just not that good at painting. So like my thing is, and it gives you more to work with too, as far as like storytelling and why you're designing the shoe, whatever it's for. It gives you more of a canvas to work off of when you rebuild it and completely.
So what's your favorite shoe? What's your favorite shoe to design? If you had to choose one like on this wall.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, like I love doing original stuff. That's why I got into it. But like from a customization standpoint, like Dunks, Air Force Ones, Jordan 1s, 3s and 4s are probably like my favorite.
Show me the 3s and 4s. Okay, sneakerheads. I know the sneakerheads are gonna come flaming. I know some, but I don't know all of them. Yeah,
this is a Jordan 3, probably one of my favorite Jordans as far as the retros, and these are the 4, probably my next favorite.
Right.
But yeah, super fun to just like, all the retro Jordans are great canvases to just like kind of create with.
These are the real basketball roots. These are the ball shoes.
Oh,
right?
geez, MJ. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of culture is built around the retros, and I think probably the full reason that it's such a booming industry right now. Right. You know?
And so, I mean, let's talk about it. So we're here, like I said, guys, we're here at Good Weather in Toronto. Sneakers, you know, vintage apparel, they have a full, like, I mean, Spadina Street is not a cheap street.
Right.
I was gonna put it out there, like they must be doing their thing to have like a brick and mortar, a storefront down here, and you built your entire brand. Mm-hmm. I guess a lot of people, I guess this is just for them to tap into that. This is a huge market.
100%.
Like, what does your upsell look like? You get one of these sneakers for like $200.
Yeah.
You remake it or remix it. How much are you selling these things for?
Yeah, so we usually start at about 2,000 for
2 or 3?
2, maybe 3, depending on what goes into it. So that's the thing too, is like I would love to take this opportunity to walk people through like and break down why it's that expensive.
Yeah, let's do that.
Right, because like you buy this shoe, depending on what the shoe is, sometimes you got to pay resale. So you're looking at like 200, 300 just to get the canvas.
Right.
I call it the canvas because this is what I'm creating on.
Right.
Each color, each material, I'm buying real leather that you have to buy by the hide. So you don't just buy enough just to make the one shoe. Mm. You're paying like maybe 200, 300 per color, per material.
How much is a hide? Is that like a sheet of leather?
A hide's usually like, see, I'm in America, so 50 square feet about. I'm not sure what that would be.
I don't know. I'm in Canada.
Yeah, but you could build maybe 3 or 4 pairs out of that, depending on what the design is. But then you go into all the other resources.
You gotta go handpick handpick that. It's the
Exactly.
time for you to go through that. Okay, yeah.
So it's the whole design and development process that you're thinking about, and everything's very purposeful. And then that's not even to say the resources that you need to actually take apart the shoe, construct it back together, and then labor too. It's like it'll take me, if I were just to focus on one shoe, it'll probably take me a good 4 or 5 days just to make one shoe. And that's full focus on your time. So
like all day.
It's a lot. It is a lot that goes into it. But that's what I'm kind of hoping to get out of the custom space. And because I was telling them earlier, it's like I haven't experienced my own people wearing my shoes because it's just not feasible, right? So once I can get into original stuff and working in production and working with other brands, building out their collections where we can now get the unit costs a lot lower, it's like that's my real goal. You know what I mean?
You're for the people, Gabe.
For the people.
This is for the
For the
people.
people.
We love people like that. Yeah. But I mean, you should always still keep the custom space because I mean, if you've been making those
100%.
brothers, you make it.
100%. It's got me this far, and I've been blessed the experiences that I've had off of working with these shoes, and it's
I mean, for the people who aren't really in like the sneaker world, like I got sneakers, but I'm not like a sneaker head. You know what I mean? But like I see some of these prices, you go search on like StockX, whatever. Like sometimes you're paying like $500 extra dollars, and the thing is like people will buy them. I know someone who got a pair of Off-Whites recently for like $1,300.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, if you're looking for some exclusive pairs of sneakers, you better come down to Good Weather because you got to pay resale price, but like you want to look fly or you want to look fly. I'm like tripping out seeing here because I can see my bank account is going, whoosh, need these. I love these. Isaiah, I know you said these are fire. These are fire.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
You know what I mean? Like, and you build like outfits with everything.
Right.
So for you, for your own self, like, do you customize your own shoes?
I try to make one pair for me every project. More from a sentimental thing. It's like, oh, this is a moment in time. But I'm pretty when it comes to my own style, like I'm pretty low key. Like I'll wear these. I'll wear Vans. Like I'm pretty low key with the style. But it's always fun to break them out once in a while.
And so let's talk a little bit about LA space. I've been to LA once in November. I love that. I love that shit. You have the best weather.
Oh,
how could you be mad living in LA?
Spoiled.
By the way, guys, as we were filming our intro, his teeth were chattering. So he's definitely not used to it. Next time you're out here, we're going to have to get you a scarf. But let's talk a little bit about it. Like, what is LA culture? I mean, coming from a Canadian perspective from Toronto, like LA is like holy grail of, artistry. If you want to be an artist, creative, that's where you want to go. Like, let's talk a little bit about it. I know you mentioned you're like, kind of getting over it. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I've been there long enough. Like like LA has, like you said, it's the cultural hub for a lot of different things, movies, music, like creativity kind of in general. So you're blessed to be just around like-minded people.
Right.
And even from my hometown in San Diego, which is only a couple hours away,
Yeah.
I go home and the vibe is very complacent. It's a little bit different. It's a little more chill. But you come out and everybody's hustling, doing their thing in LA. And so that's why one of the things that keeps me going is like I know people are coming from my spot, essentially, right? And network, resources, like been blessed to be around dope communities of people who love to help you out. And, we build together. I can't complain about LA at all. Like LA is incredible. I think for me personally, I'm like, want to be out here, like explore different. I've been a SoCal kid my entire life. So it's like,
you're born there.
See the world.
Yeah. And I mean, there must be a certain aspect for people out there who are wondering how, like, you've gone to certain rooms, right? With working with all these different brands, artists. Was it just like you got your first, like, big name? Or was it the show that gave you, like, there was someone out there probably wondering, like, yo, how do I get to that level?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'll say it's a lot of networking and just continuing the hustle. And I got to shout out my business partner, Mike. Shout out to Mike because if it weren't for him, like the engine would stop. You know what I mean? Like we've been able to land and be in rooms with so many important brands and individuals, and we do it together. But like I focus on the creative side and like the product, and it almost it's so much work to get into these rooms and navigate that side of the industry.
Right.
But it is really just hustling and putting your work out there and being consistent with your work. You know what I mean?
Guys, what are we talking about? be unapologetic. If this is what you love to do, these are your passions, put it out there. You never know who's watching. You never know what, like, who you meet can put you in certain positions.
Sure.
What else we talk about on this show? We talk about teamwork. Y'all get you a team, because sometimes by yourself, you can't do it.
Can't do it on your own.
And we were talking about this a little bit. I think because social media is such a like huge presence, you worked with so many big names, and you still slack off with your social media. Like,
it's a job in itself.
It's a full-time job in itself, content creation. But like, I could see you eating it up on TikTok.
Yeah.
I would watch that, like taking apart a sneaker and then seeing how you created a sneaker for Missy Elliott.
Yeah. Yeah. If New Year's resolutions are still a thing, that's mine. It's like get better at just showing the work, showing the process, showing the craft, for sure.
We love that accountability.
Yeah.
And like I saw also one day I creeped your page. Actually, I follow you, so it's not. I won't consider that creeping anymore, right? It's not creeping. But I appreciate you said that back in 19 something or 2001, you were at the ball game.
Oh yeah, for the Clippers.
And then he was literally courtside because he was able to design a pair of sneakers.
And even further, I had a moment. I took my parents to the game like a couple of weeks ago. And it was the same game. It was the Clippers versus Kings, which is the very first game I went to. Except the first game I was in the 319 section.
Right.
Now we're like courtside. And that moment was incredible for me. So important.
I love that. That's like a full circle moment. And I just really want to put it out there. Like, in this day and age, I think some people are so used to like cookie cutter ways of, building a means for yourself.
Right.
And I mean, sneakers, y'all.
Yeah.
Sneakers is huge, everyone wears sneakers every single day, day in and day out. And so just seeing like the sneaker market, I'm really fortunate to be here and like chop it up with you and just hear more about it. Cause like it's inspiring. I hope this inspires someone else out there.
I hope so.
You know
I hope so, yeah. I mean, you guys are doing the same thing. Like anything you do on your own.
Shout out to TheParkedCarConversation.
Yeah. Building something for yourself and doing something you're passionate about, waking up every day excited, like there's no other feeling.
Yeah, it's not work, really. I mean, there's some aspects of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, if you love doing it, and putting out there good messages,
it's worth it.
And we're definitely looking forward to your collections that are more affordable for everyday people like myself.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Copping a pair of Gabriel Gonzalez's shoes. So I love that. All right, Gabe. Oh, Gabriel Gonzalez, Gabe. No, we're besties. It's Gabe.
We're homies now.
We're homies. Tell everyone where they can find you, socials, all that. If they want to connect.
Sure.
I'm sure you know what. You seem like a pretty down-to-earth person. If someone wants to ask some questions about sneaker designing, hit them up. Where can they find you?
On Instagram, at GonzoGabe, GonzoGabe. And then our studio is at Chapter 3, CHPTR.3.
Just let them know you heard him at the Park Car Conversation, you know what I'm saying? Whether you're from Toronto or somewhere else in the world. That's the dope part about social media, that we can connect.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up connecting with Good Weather and with Isaiah. We're here, just making it work. And I love to be a part of like the Toronto, and I just talk about it. We're here. We literally pulled up. So I'm definitely hoping that more people are going to pull up here.
Yeah.
Let them know you saw them on Park Car Conversation, you know what I'm saying? And you're here. So, let them also know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at goodweather_TO. On TikTok, same thing, goodweather_TO. I can't even speak anymore. You can shop online at shopgoodweather.com. Everything that's in store is also on our website.
Yeah, up to date with sizes. I think people were like, well, are they up to date with sizes?
Yeah, everything is up to date. Daily updates.
We love that.
Love it.
We can respect that. And they can call you?
Yeah, my personal phone number is on my Google. So if anyone calls me, they're calling me personally. So yeah.
Okay.
No prank calls.
Yeah. We love that. I think it's more personable than going to the big name shoe stores where you can never get someone. Like if you have a size, I don't want to drive downtown for no size. Call up Good Weather, call up Isaiah.
I probably won't answer my phone, but if you text me, I might respond. But yeah. And even if you don't have your size in store, we could always source it for you. So like, let's say Gabe was looking for a size 10 in this one.
He actually wants off-whites.
Yeah, I know.
He wants off-whites.
Oh yeah, yes. He wants a. What size are you, Gabe?
9.
Size 9. I can get that for you tonight if you really wanted to. But yeah, we can source anything. So yeah, just let me know in the comments if you guys need any sizes or whatever. But yeah, that's one thing that we also do.
And that's a wrap, y'all. That's Park Car Conversation takes on sneaker game. Yeah.
So I think the bottom is supposed to like reflect the water or something.
Okay.
But I don't know what it's called.
So, but like, okay, is this considered a gum bottom?
We
What do
call
we
them
call
like
it?
ISOLs.
Yeah.
ISOLs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
ISOL is like kind of anything that's like transparent.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, like these two are the same, like ISOL or
ISOL,
whatever.
you call it ISOL.
Yeah.
I feel like it just gets less dirty over time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know, my personal opinion. But and I'm into a lot of my, like I have a collection of 97s, just in different colors. A lot of them are like velvet suede.
Yeah.
Suede.
Okay. Yeah.
It's hard to
Also-
keep clean.
I also like working with the ISOLs because it gives you another opportunity to like put something underneath the sole where it's like you can see through
like
it
this?
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like this is probably built into the mold itself.
Yeah.
But I wonder if you guys actually have a pair of shoes like. Oh yeah, actually the 11s. Like
This is sneaker deconstruction.
I
right
know.
here.
Oh yeah.
the way you can
okay,
see this,
Yeah.
like what we would do is we would take the sole off and then print something. There's like a midsole in here. Print something and you can use that as like a graphic. And we did that with Kevin Durant here. Like for
KD, come on, dude. That's crazy. Come on, this casually subtle name dropping.
I actually forgot about
Katie.
that project. I should talk about that one.
Wow, I love that.
Yes.
That's cool. I mean, just like you're saying, like it's really neat to see what goes into the sneaker production,
Yeah.
like
sure.
in between the
Even
sole.
the so sad too. It has the red. So that's
This?
what you were talking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Like with the,
Yeah, that's part of the midsole.
Are materials getting more expensive with inflation?
Yeah, I mean leather too is always like pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I get a lot of leathers from like if you don't have it locally, there's like specialized leathers that I get from like Italy and like overseas and like all sorts of places. So it's like
Yeah.
you want to make the product like better at the same time.
Right.
If you're doing one of ones, like you can't cut corners.
Right.
how did you learn to do that?
School.
Working. Oh, so my first job in the industry after that whole Adidas like competition was with a company called the Shoe Surgeon. You're probably familiar.
Yeah.
So he's the first one who pioneered this like remade customization process. Learned from like bootmaking and stuff like that. But yeah, I was the 8th employee, the only designer, and I had to do everything kind of on my own. So that's when I was too. Is like I gave me the confidence to be like I could do this on my own if I'm already helping this guy build his own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So learned a lot from there.
John Geiger. I have some of his shoes actually.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the misplaced checks or
Yeah.
like the
I have
current-
what's it called? GF01 or his
Oh,
Air
yeah,
Force.
yeah.
pretty much,
The
yeah.
lawsuit ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Who's
learned.
gonna smile?
Dexy by Nike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why?
They look like a.
I'll bring them out actually.
They're
Yeah.
essentially Air Force Ones that he just made and called them his own. But like he changed the sole. It's like he has an argument for why he wouldn't get sued, but I think
still
it's
sued
close enough that Nike's like.
So like, can you get sued for doing what you
So
do?
I can't get sued because I'm not mass producing anything.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
the way our loophole is, we're selling a service, not a product, and so people can bring in their shoes that they bought from Nike that they own, and now we're customizing it one of one. You know,
But if you were to mass produce it,
if we were
then
to take it across like to China and make thousands of units and sell it at like $300, like yeah,
gotcha.
I didn't know
All right,
that,
let's
actually.
see these.
That's cool.
yeah.
They're very dirty now, but yeah, these are.
So my factory that I partner with in LA is.
They manufacture these?
Oh wow.
That's cool.
So I see those all the time.
But did they stop production now because you sued?
They settled. I'm
They
pretty sure,
settled.
the lawsuit, but-
So they don't make that. I think they tweaked the design a little bit. Those are like one of the OG releases
Yeah.
that he had,
Okay,
but
you
I
should
think the
save
ones he
them
does
forever.
now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
resale price on that's probably crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great publicity for him. Like,
Yeah. Getting
Incredible.
sued. I guess that's anything, right? Like
Yeah.
No
any-
such
There's
thing
no-
as bad
Exactly.
publicity.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
So what does an average shoe go for?
like custom.
Yeah.
Well, so our base price, if you get something made to order, it's like $2,500.
Okay.
And just depending on how much like development goes into it, how difficult the shoe is to actually make, and the timing,
Yeah.
can go anywhere from like 2,500 to like 10 racks.
Wow. So the ones you made for the Clippers.
So the ones with the Clippers, would probably price those at like 3,000, but they're limited, so I don't even sell those to anyone else. Like if you inquired about it, I'd be like, nah, we can't do it. You know?
Who paid for that? Like the Clippers organization or like
Yeah.
the players? Oh, the
Clippers. And so that's why, like, when I'm talking customs and
Yeah.
like one-of-one stuff, and like I said, like my own people can't afford that. Like I would never even want to sell that to them. It's like you're putting yourself out for like a pair of shoes, like you know. But that's why the business-to-business marketing side, because essentially that was marketing assets for them.
Yeah.
That's where most of the custom business on my end comes from. And I feel decent about that. You know what I mean?
You have a picture of that? Like the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, my birthday is in February. I mean, maybe a little give back to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
So these are